Alright, I'm on chapter 38, and, well, some things have happened. First and foremost, Dalinar can now go into Shadesmar and talk to people in their visions with the Stormfather, which is pretty wild. Kind of cool that he can, teleport his consciousness across the astral sea, basically. So that's how Yasna survived, I'm putting together, is when she got stabbed, she kind of moved herself into Shadesmar, and then she had to find a perpendicularity to come back. Still kind of confused on that, but that sounds about right. So that happened, and then she makes a lot of sense. I get it now that I've seen more glimpses of the Blackthorn, and from the outside, you're like, wait a second, so Dalinar took the crown, and he's gathering up an army, and they're going into the High Storm? Like, what is he doing? And then you get a span read that's like, you are cordially invited to talk. It makes sense now why she's like, something's up. Why would I follow you? And then when he starts yelling at her, she goes, okay, that makes sense to me. I'll help you out. Wild. I love that she respects, the directness and, shouting from Dalinar, because I'm also pretty similar. It's like, in as few words as possible, what are you trying to say? Let's get this going. Just be honest. So I respect that a lot. And then the next chapter, Sigil is talking to Kaladin, and he's like, what would my master do? He'd probably tell a story. And then he tells this ridiculous story that makes no sense, and he's like, does that work? And Kaladin's like, honestly, I have no idea what you just said. Which is also how I respond to Hoyd. Except Hoyd is a little better at it. And then we get a little bit of, it's like a light dusting of bigotry, which was interesting because there hasn't been a whole lot of that in the Cosmere. To where Drehy is courting a dude, and I was like, hell yeah, dude. And Kaladin was like, awesome. So there's forms you gotta fill or something like that? And Sigil's like, yeah, it just isn't right. And Kaladin's like, did your master teach you to be this judgmental? And they're like, nope. Definitely not. Hoyd is no, I don't see it. But Kaladin, when he sees Lyn, and he offers her a spot with the Windrunners, and he's like, do you want to be a Windrunner? And she's like, yeah, no, that'd be great. And then he's like, okay, cool, you can read and write, we're gonna need some records and figure this shit out. And she goes, oh, well, if I'm just gonna be a scribe, I'm gonna have to pass. I loved that, because how cool it is for her to get offered the spot, and then she finds out it's a scribe position and she just passes. Good for her. That's just, immediately I was like, she's awesome. Because that takes a lot of courage to be like, oh, I want to be on the team. Cool, you can be on the team, but you're going to carry our stuff. And for her not to just jump on the opportunity and be like, sure. The fact that she was like, no, I want to do this for real. I want to learn to fight and stuff. And he was like, okay. Tryouts are at this time. So I love that. And then we got a flashback chapter with Dalinar, and Evie is pregnant. And so I was like, okay. I was still trying to figure out the math here as far as the timeline goes, because I know Evie is, well, I'm assuming Evie is Adolin and Renarin's mom. And Adolin is 20 now, I think? 21? But this was 24 years prior. So either the timeline isn't adding up or I'm getting confused. Either way, the fact that she talked about the Night Watcher, and Dalinar was like, whoa, hey, don't do that. And the heir from that city that I'm forgetting, the heir's still alive. Dalinar didn't kill the kid. And he's like, it was a kid. He could barely lift the sword. And Elhokar, or no, sorry, not Elhokar, Gavilar doesn't care. He's like, I thought you killed the kid. And he goes, no, he's a kid. Made me not care about Gavilar anymore. I'm just saying. But the fact that the Blackthorn had more compassion than Gavilar in that moment is pretty wild. But then when he said he didn't kill the kid, and the kid's trying to, my God, challenge him to a duel because he's like, that's my shard blade. And he goes, oh, whatever. The fact that Evie, hugged him, and he's like, oh, she sees me as a hero right now. This is all I want. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Also, absolutely terrified now because now I'm thinking Evie, because I know something bad happens to her. I'm thinking Dalinar might have accidentally done it. So that would suck. I hope that's not true. I hope it's not like a Hercules thing where he's like in the thrill and accidentally kills Evie as well, because that would suck and absolutely makes sense why he would go to the Night Watcher and be like, please make this stop hurting. Ugh. I hope that doesn't happen. And then after that, we get a Rock chapter, which is cool. I mean, it's a Bridge 4 chapter, but like, it's really focused on Rock, which I thought was great. And Lopin, very, very Wayne of the Stormlight Archive, he accidentally sticks himself to the ground, which is hilarious. And he's like, no, I like it. It's cool here. Hobber healed his legs, which is really cool to know, because that fight with Zeth was a while ago, and they're still able to be healed. So that was pretty neat. I thought it was like a time thing, like when Kaladin got his hand cut and he like immediately healed it. I was like, I wonder if that's how that goes. In the same way that with Lift, you can't bring someone back to life if it's like a certain period of time has passed. So I thought it was like that, but it's not, which is cool. And then Rock's family showed up. Rock's the best, isn't he? He's so cool. I feel like he used to be like a badass warrior, now he's not. I feel like Rock is like the Dalinar of Bridge 4. Except not, bloodthirsty and all that stuff. Just the fact that he used to be a badass and now he's like, I'm a cook now. Yeah. I did have a realization at the end of this chapter, which was pretty cool, I think. Maybe I'm grasping at straws here. But, so, Kaladin's introduction in the Stormlight Archive is on the battlefield, fighting in Amaram's army, and all the men, like, there's this huge thing going on, and then Kaladin, like, flies overhead, and we're like, that's our captain. They said that the reason that they fight so well, they're like, oh, you've been trained. It's like, yeah, we've been trained, but the reason we fight so well is because of him. Like, he's here, and he's got us. And I wonder if that was intentional, because now, Kaladin is a Knight Radiant. He's a Windrunner. And all of Bridge 4, assumedly, are his, like, Windrunner squires. But their powers only work if Kaladin is nearby. So I was thinking about that, and I was like, huh. I wonder if that's the same thing. Anyway, this is awesome. Onward.